Camera ready? Okay, let's roll camera, please. And playback.
Josh.
Playback. We have no Josh. But we do have a Susan. Good morning, Susan.
Good morning.
How are you?
Wonderful.
Welcome to the Good Morning Show, everyone. It's Friday.
Yes.
It's June 30th.
Oh my, another
I almost
month.
should say like Happy 4th of July now because everyone's gonna be moving and shaking from this point forward until fireworks are setting off, huh?
I don't
Do you
know.
have, do you have big plans for the 4th of July? You mentioned
Yeah.
that you're gonna be.
I'm going to be open.
Oh snap!
Open 4th of July and a big sale. Actually, the 3rd and the 4th sale. I don't know if I'll get online stuff done. I may put a coupon out there for the online order people, but
A coupon?
coupon.
Oh man,
Yeah.
there may be coupons.
That's for the people that can't come in the store. There'll be better sales if you can come in the store. So.
And you said there's some 4th of July activity around the downtown area as well. Some things that are
I
going on.
believe so because they're putting flags out at First Street Square this morning. So they've either just putting flags out for 4th of July, but there's always something at the courthouse area. But I'm sure they got stuff, and they've got those street closed signs in queue. So I'm sure there's stuff downtown. I was going to look, but I didn't look in time to get here. But I guess we're doing a Monday segment after this.
Well, yes, I think so. That was a secret. We were going to try to get away with.
Oh, acting like it was live? Oops.
Absolutely, unless something like dramatic happened, and then we just like didn't mention it the entire show, which I thought about as well. It's like, well, if something exciting happens on Saturday or Sunday, then we won't have a chance to talk about it because it'll be pre-recorded from Friday.
Right. Oh, well.
So there's that. I know.
Well, let's take it back.
There you go. She took it back. So, well, what are we doing today? You got some stuff in front
Today
of
we
you.
are doing feed sacks and antique blocks.
Okay.
And some of these feed sacks and flour sacks. So there's two different ones, and I'm going to
Now,
see.
do you mean like a feed sack, like a wild animal feed sack, or what are we talking about here when you say feed sack?
Well, this has a hole, but this is an old one. These are all old, but this is actually a feed sack or flour. Let me see. This probably was a flour sack, and it's an actual sack. See, we have a sack here, and these are all antiques, and I've gotten them from different places. But this is actually in the sack form still. I don't know how it got a hole in it, but long story probably. But all of these are from the 40s or older, what I have here. And this is a little bit looser weave. And we're going to go down here and look at the weaves down here if we can. I don't know if we can get close enough to see the two different weaves. But, yeah, pretty close. This one's looser. And this is like sheet weave.
Okay.
So, yeah, you can see the weave. This is looser. So when they have flour, they usually put them in a weave like this. And then this weave is loose, and there's even a little bit looser weave, like when they have something like corn or seeds or critter feed. But they call them feed sacks is where they started. What happened was one company in the 30s, I believe it was the 30s, it might have been the 20s, decided they were going to do a marketing thing, so they put patterns all over their feed sacks. And the wife says, well, you can get corn from Joe Blow down the street, but then the other one town over has feed sacks that have a pattern on it, and I take the feed sacks and make clothing. So they got all excited, and the wives were saying, well, go to that place first. So then they started competing, and they started doing feed sacks with all kinds of patterns. Some of these that I have here, let me pull them out right now. These, I got a whole bunch. One of my previous customers, which is she's now gone on to quilting on the other side. She was older and was having to clean her house out, came in and said, I have a whole bunch of flour sacks. These are flour sacks. And they're from the Velvo Flour Company that used to be in town here. So she had a whole bunch. I have a whole bunch. I got them from her, bottom from her.
Put them down on the table over there. We'll get that close up.
Right here?
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
There we go. And these were sacks. She opened a lot of hers. So they're opened up. So then this is the piece that they are. Big opened up. And so you can still see, I don't know if you can see where
The stitching, yeah.
stitching was. So you can see it there. So she opened a bunch of hers up. Now, if you have a sack that's still closed up, they're worth more than if the stitching is done. But these came from the flower company. And you can see they have all these different patterns. This one's pretty cool. This is looks like a quilt pattern. And what they do is they call these cheater patterns because they've already done the piecing for you.
Yeah.
And then there's feed sacks are bigger. Feed sack pieces are bigger. This is actually a piece of fabric that was made to look like feed sack. It's 36 inches wide, which is narrower than the fabric they make today. 1946, I think, is when the machines went to 45 width. So this is 36 wide, so it's before 45, 1945, 46. And see, it's narrower than the other.
Mm-hmm.
And it is an actual vintage piece. So there is a difference between vintage and reproduction. The reproductions are printed to look like the original prints, but they are modern fabrics. Vintage is actually a piece from back then.
Okay.
And I've got vintage all the way, I've got some 40s, 50s, 60s, and they're considered vintage. So that's cool. Some people use these for repairing quilts. Some people use these to make a quilt. Some of these this is what they use them to add to. So these are actual blocks done in the 30s, probably, maybe earlier. And so some people will
Throw a few of those down on the table there.
on the
There we go.
close-up
Yeah.
area. Well, here, let's go like this. There we go, see? And this is made with the feed sack material. And some people get a bunch of these given to them, found them in grandma's hope chest or whatever, and not finished. So they will come and get the feed sack material to use to put sashing or finish them up, put some more blocks, and put blocks together. This is some feed sack and then some dress material. But this pink here is a feed sack material.
So it's kind of like a nice little filler that has a bit of a story.
Yes.
Cool.
And see, this one here is total feed sack. So you see the guys, once they figured out the wives were making clothing items, including underwear, they used to make feed sack underwear. But they would for the underwear, they'd like the plain white ones. But they
Sounds dangerous.
it was a marketing scheme on the
frilly.
patterns.
I'd want
Sounds
a
dangerous. Why?
crazy pattern on there.
Well, no, they
Yeah.
you like the patterns on them?
Oh yeah.
Flowers. Why not? Real men wear flower underwear.
Right. Feed sack.
But it was a really neat original marketing scheme.
Yeah, I bet it helped their sales
Because,
go up.
oh yeah, well see the thing is certain companies that they had a particular pattern and somebody was trying to get a whole bunch for a king size quilt, they would say, well
Could stock up on corn.
go here and get this grain because I'm like, and it's got to be in this particular feed sack, or they would trade feed sacks with each other. Like Alice was trying to get the red flowered and somebody else was trying to get the yellow flowered, and they would send their husbands to get the flour or the wheat for the critters or whatever, and say I need it in that flour with the pinks.
Now, when you read stories from back in that era, a lot of novels and different stories will talk about the kids wearing feed sacks. You always think of like
They just got a sack. Yeah.
like a potato sack, something
Yeah.
really plain. But they may have been wearing something that was
Oh yeah, it's definitely they're wearing the clothing.
relatively upscale, right?
Well,
because it has
yeah.
pattern and it may not be the finest fabrics, but at least it looks
Well, what it was better than what they did have.
sure.
because it was, what they did have was muslin or just plain colors.
Mm-hmm.
And when they started coming out with the colors, then the less well-to-do people were able to get some pretty neat, cool stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And you mentioned muslin. That's actually used a lot for photographers for backdrops because of
I didn't know
the
that.
type of material it is. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Well, usually the muslin in quilting is just a plain white or it's bleached white, or there's the natural color is kind of a tan on the muslin. So that's cool.
Well, cool.
Any questions about feed sacks and?
Josh?
So you're saying most Muslims are tan?
Muslin.
I know, right?
Yes.
There's a difference between
Because they're
muslin
Middle
and
Eastern
Muslims.
or a lot of the equatorial countries, more
Nope.
sunshine.
Nope. Didn't say that.
He's bad.
I don't know.
That's not bad. I'm trying to understand what you guys are insinuating.
Muslin. Muslin.
Pull a page up,
Muslin?
show him with the definition in Google. Boy, he's
Susan,
uneducated.
what-
Susan, continue.
What's the other
We don't have time for
potato
this.
sack cloth? I keep thinking it's in the tip of my tongue. The real
Burlap.
Burlap. That's what it is.
Yes, and there are some burlap antique bags out there too that are worth
Sure.
some money.
Yeah.
And they
Well,
have the printing
burlaps-
on their companies that are now defunct and whatever.
Burlap's been in style for the last few years or so,
About 3.
especially with like furniture fabrics and
Well,
pillows
weddings.
and yep.
They're huge. Burlap's huge in weddings right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, I have like 4 drawers of this stuff. So this is I just grabbed a few pieces to bring the show today.
So if you only have a couple pieces, or you picked up a piece that you found maybe like at a estate sale or a yard sale,
yeah.
what's a good idea for, I've only got 3 yards of this, but I really love it. What's a good idea for people?
Well, if you had 3 yards, you could do a pretty good thing. You would get a muslin or something to go with it.
Uh-huh.
Because you would want a period piece that was like it.
Mm-hmm.
So just plain old cotton muslin, and just do because you have all of these are colorful. I have nothing dull in these. So I don't know if I can see, like here on the pink.
Mm-hmm.
You could use plain muslin there, and then do the rest with feed sacks, or do a lot of the feed sack and then
see one of those.
make it stretch.
Let me see one of those. Any of them? Yeah. I just wondered how soft the fabric was.
Yeah, it's real soft.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's a cool little story about how that came to be.
And I really think it's neat that we have I have so many of these from the now out of business flower company that was in our town. So it's kind of part of the history. I probably ought to get a couple of these and get the history printed out and give them to the museum. Don't you think?
Yeah.
I need to do that. Add it to my ever-going, never getting done to-do list.
Well, I want to pull this up for Josh because he mentioned it. It made me remember a Simpsons episode where a guy was wearing a burlap sack, potato sack for clothes. So,
Is he a Muslim?
I think that's what you were talking about. Yes, that's the material.
That's a potato sack one.
Yeah.
That's a burlap.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know but it doesn't tell if he's Muslim or not.
Moving on.
Oh,
Want to
man.
mention Hyderhangout.com. Take a look or give Susan a call. She will actually personally answer the phone, 423-715-2908. She'll get you hooked up. She will be open 4th of July. So, and there may be some coupons. I've heard.
Yeah, there's coupons.
Can we get a preview for a coupon? A possible coupon?
Oh, 20% off everything on your order. If you order online, it would be,
Oh.
yep.
So again, Hyderhangout.com. There you go. Get in touch with Susan and go check her out on the First Street Square. Coming up 4th of July. Dun, dun,
Yes.
dun, 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 dun.
And I don't
Cool.
know if it'll be hard to get to downtown or not, but there's always a
I
way
don't
to
think
get
so
there.
because they'll either be out on 64 Highway or over at the mall where the fireworks are. So people will be coming back into town, up Water Level Highway into town,
Yeah.
and there's Susan's. Well, they'll be going out before it closes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'll be
You're
there
not
all day.
open late,
I
are you?
have quite a few projects to do right now. Actually, I have 40 quilt tops that this lady has that her mom did. She says 40. She didn't bring them all in yet.
Yeah.
I've got 2 of them, and they're made out of feed sack.
It's quite the collection. But she
She's
just never get
got
to-
a whole bunch that her mom didn't finish, so we're going to finish them up for her. Tidbit: don't wash your tops before you get them quilted because then they tend to have holes, and it's a lot more work. We can wash it afterwards. So if you've got a quilt top laying around and it was grandma's or great grandma's and it's kind of musty, let us quilt it and fix it first, and then we can wash it and then get the stuff out of the top. But so I have to do a whole bunch of hole repair and oh well. Keep me out of trouble, right?
And a preview real quick for Monday's clip, what people will see.
People will see printed fabric.
Printed fabric.
Printed fabric.
Cool. All right. Well, we will take a commercial break, and then we're going to kick you back to Coffee, Country, and Cody on Heartland. And Josh, anything else to add?
Happy 4th of July, everyone. Happy Independence Day.
Hooray. All right.
Yes.
We'll see you guys soon.
Quilts and the art of quilting have been enjoyed for generations. Hyder Hangout, Quilt Fabric and More in downtown Cleveland is all things quilts and much more. Hyder Hangout stocks a vast selection of beautiful fabrics from upholstery to evening wear and will special order hard-to-find items. Find all the accessories to make any project fun and easy. Hyder Hangout offers expert instruction with classes for the beginner and the advanced. Ready to show your style? Get to Hyder Hangout, Quilt Fabric and More, 219 First Street Northeast, downtown